jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
in the building. Bills Boot Camp on deck. Great MF and thumbnail. Salute WCS. You already know what it is, man. We back for another one. The Hot Grease Chronicles never stop. Yes, sir. Big salute to the supporters as always. Big salute to the ones who donate and support the channel. Much appreciated. Toby Bartlett on deck. Salute WCS in chat. We're global. We're global. Who's next on Buzz menu now? After the big fish fry? Good question. I want to know. You want to know, and everybody else is tuned in want to know. Who's next for the pound for pound best? After the way he did that man dirty. Christopher on deck, man. It's popping. I need some more fish fry. Yes, sir. You already know, man. We'll not finish eating. We'll not finish frying this fish. We have to address those who are out here suffering from first degree burns from the fish fry. First of all, let's get that straight. It's some victims out here that are suffering from first degree burns from this fish fry, and they're coming up with these excuses. So I have to go out here and do my job and police the area and clean up all the rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? All the rhetoric. Stick 'em boys fishing and sports on deck. Salute WCS, salute chat fam. Let's cook, shall see. Appreciate you pulling up. The GOAT Big Blunts and boxing on deck. Salute Blunts. What's good with it, bro? Let's get it. What's good, family? Man, you already know Blunts how we do, man. It's stepping. Heels to the deck. Cracking. We got to continue to let them know they're not going to come up here and limp their ass in like they victims. And they want to come up with all these conspiracy theories. They want to come in here whining and crying and doing the same shit they doing before Crawford whooped that ass. It was all the excuses. The man ain't got this. The man ain't that. But you showing your true self now. Y'all out here showing your true self once again. I'm telling you out here acting like a group of females. You're just going out here making up excuses, gossiping. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to give the man his credit. I got it. Jamal Neezy on deck. Salute WCS. Salute chat. Let's talk out ish. Always, man. Hot grease every day of the week. You know how we do. Simply is over here. They did return. You know what I'm saying? They did return after that thrashing. I appreciate you in the returning back to the channel. Appreciate y'all returning back to the channel. But hey, people, we got to get the likes up, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what am I doing it for? You know, I got 20 some people in the building and then 13 likes. What am I doing this for? I'm doing it because I got a passion to do it. But y'all show some love. Like, just hit the like button. That's the easiest thing you got to do. Just hit the like. They saying Bud Gloves was loaded. He learned to cheat from Tyson Fury. YouTube channels are going crazy. I'm discussing with boxing fans at this point. No. Hold on, Blunts. You got tougher exterior than that now. Your armor has been battle tested more than that. Just because you got some dings in it, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like it went all the way through as a clean shot. So don't be disgusted. Don't be disgusted because they was doing the same thing prior to the ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Lost all the boxing LAB on deck. What's good with you? We smoking on Spence pack. Damn. Smoking on Spence pack. Don Vaughn on deck. Salute WCS in the chat. Salute to you, Don. What it do, man? What it do? The XO Factory on deck. OGWCS, what's good, big bro? We winning in these streets, big bro. Yes, sir, we winning. We was winning before the winning actually took place, and they deemed it necessary to officially make it a win. We was winning. We stay winning. You know what I'm saying? We stay winning. That's what they don't like. They thought it was going to be the other way around. They believed that the fight was going to be much different. One thing I can say, they believed. But they was believing off the wrong hype, though. You know, they was trying to build it up on the YTC to make it look like something it wasn't. And it didn't play out that way. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease on deck. Salute to you, Gumbo, for the $10 super chat. An avid supporter. Truly appreciated that, Gumbo. Thank you for your support, big dog. One love to you, man. Some channels still hiding. Big fish tuna, baby. I'm hoping there, Gumbo, that old bay bring them little tadpoles out, bring them little minnows out of hiding. I hope that old bay seasoning bring them out in the open. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that old bay do it. You know what I'm saying? They might think it's some food. They might think it's a free meal. No, they don't know. We still fishing. We're still fishing. You know, ain't nothing changed. We still out here fishing, Gumbo. You know what I'm saying? Lost all the boxes say my condolences. Aerosexuals are a body. We don't need to. No. They still out there now. They still out there. They still out. They out there crying and having babies, man. They can't. They cannot understand how and why. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo for the $10 super chat. Much appreciated, brother. They out here having babies, whining and crying and pouting. Shout out to Carlos Rosado on deck. WCS salute. Chat salute. Bud fried that boy. Bud fried that boy. It don't matter who next. Bud wins. Savage. That's what I'm talking about. Keep the energy up. Can't let them get away with the bullshit they trying once again, but it ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working, bro. UGC Flame is on deck. What's good with it, UGC? Salute to your brother. Appreciate you pulling up. So let me get to like the intro of this whole deal. Terrence Crawford is 40-0 right now based off what we witnessed July 29th. All right. I'm not going to lie. So it's been many people that, you know, that I told just to come to the show instead of talking to me offline and voice their opinion. Right. Because they feel there's a whole lot of other issues that was going on with that fight. Crawford dispersed and earned the TKO stoppage, the Tango Kilo Oscar, the Tango Kilo Oscar. The Tango Kilo Oscar over. Do you copy? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do. We copy. He earned another TKO via 9th round. A very brutish, you know what I'm saying? Destructive, violent type of 9-round stoppage. See, before we get into the heat, the thick of it, prior to July 29th, as I mentioned so many times before, there were individuals out here that have been identified as the Arrow aerosexuals. The aerosexuals, I believe some at this point in time, they do have psychological issues. You know what I'm saying? They were a part of the misfit group that probably wore, you know, these t-shirts that they hand drew with a number 2 pencil, and they really thought the message was being sent and no one could really read what was on the shirt anyway. And they just couldn't figure out why that message kept being erased every time they watched that dirty ass t-shirt. Well, these are short bus pioneers, okay? I want y'all to understand we're dealing with short bus pioneers. They are the ones who understand what it's like to walk on a bus with seat belts. You know what I'm saying? Reinforced windows. They're not the smartest, brightest when it comes to this boxing game. These people have taken it upon themselves to have a vendetta against a particular fighter in Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, what we witnessed in Vegas is that we was confident the man was going to go in there and get the job done. We was absolutely confident. And as human beings, our perception is some of us can visualize without the actual moment, and some of us really get it from the moment. I think a lot of us got it from the moment. We really was able to settle into that moment and say, wow, this has actually happened. When he came out with the net on, he came out with M, you know, the fighters was introduced. Look, it was a lot of people, bro, that I know they was freaking anxious. Man, I was calm about it. I really believe that Crawford wasn't a 50-50 fight. I really stand by when people overlook the fact of what somebody is doing on their off time. What I knew from people that's in Texas that I know that has you know, kept me up to date on what was going on with him. You know, videos that I've seen that I never posted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go there at all. But what I did know was what I was seeing coming out of the training regiment over there in Omaha, Nebraska. And then when they went to Vegas and they had a pre-camp over there in Vegas, and then they end up going back to the UFC training facility. Listen, you're only going to get better. WCS did a live stream on these UFC facilities. And then you have boxers that's going over here using these UFC facilities with the staff that they have there to further educate some of these boxing training teams on strength and conditioning and other things. It's still a combat sport at the end of the day. And to find out that Crawford and his team did a pre-camp over in Vegas at the UFC facility, with the UFC rather, and then they went back for a longer camp. Anything and everything that we was looking for, receipts, we got them. We got the receipts. Man, time this fight was announced, pictures start coming out, videos start coming out. We start watching the fighter, and then we're looking at what Crawford's putting out. Crawford's out there running, and then we're not too sure what's going on with Spence. So when it comes to the aerosexuals, they was pretty much still talking about Crawford. And that let me know they wasn't really concerned about Spence, just like Derrick James. Derrick James didn't give a fuck about, you know, doing some different shit with Spence. You know what I'm saying? Did you not see the video where Derrick James was holding mitts in the orthodox stance? He was holding mitts in the orthodox stance. And not to prepare for the southpaw stance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he really cared. He just thinks he can go in there and the fighters are going to fight the way they fight. Spence is a southpaw fighter, and Terrence, he could come out either orthodox or southpaw. But the sneaky part that I did see was that Derrick might have thought that him doing mitts in the orthodox stance was a moment that potentially his fighter can take advantage of if Crawford started off the fight in the orthodox stance. I don't know. We did see training video of Crawford doing mitts in the orthodox stance. That's his natural stance. He was just taught, how to fight southpaw. His original natural stance is from an orthodox stance. You know what I'm saying? That's with your lead left foot forward and your right foot as your rear right foot. You know what I'm saying? Rear foot, right? And I don't know if that kind of, for a person who don't like film, I don't know if he's seen that and he said, you know what, why don't we train this way or whatever the case may be. But it ended up being absolutely wrong. There's a lot to be said about leading up to this fight. I myself, you, and plenty others want to know if the weight was going to be made. I looked at Spence and I thought he was a bit heavy all the way up to weigh-ins. Even doing the presser, it just seems like, man, he had to lose the weight. He had to lose the weight. And I'm not convinced that he lost all the weight he should have lost all the way down to 47. It just didn't look right. The way he lost weight, he still was holding water. He didn't have the muscle. It's something going on, as far as this nutrition and dietitian. I don't know if he really had a strength and conditioning team like people think he did. And what I mean by that is he didn't seem like he had the muscle mass that he usually have, right? He was a bit flat, and pictures can be enhanced all over. You can enhance the contrast, sharpen the image, apply definition to it, and all this other stuff. You can work your magic on it. So one of the pictures looked like he had some muscle mass or whatever, but yet when I saw him here when he lost weight, it just seems like he was flat. He was still holding water, probably burned some muscle out, some muscle off, trying to lose all that weight at the last minute, and they came in at 147. Cool, but on fight night, the moment everybody's talking about, it was historic, man. It was historic. It wasn't the most competitive in a way, but just like the guy said leading up, once in a generation, you have two fighters. You know what I'm saying? Once in a generation, you have two fighters that bring up this much buzz and never stepped in the ring before, but they already got the buzz as if they're going on fight number 2. And the first fight was just a fight to remember. You know what I'm saying? Almost like Canelo and Gennady. You know what I'm saying? They had one fight and then people's like, oh man, we want to see that again. And people's looking forward to see it again. In this case, these two fighters haven't stepped in the ring. But when they did, I know there's a lot of people anxious because David was believing it was a 50-50 fight. So it was so easy for them to put their money on it. It was so easy for them to bet on this fight. Listen, people, it's a lot of people that lost money. It's a lot of people who lost money off this beatdown. There's a lot of people that's upset just because I can tell a story. They get mad at the sarcasm or the ad-libbing and shit like that. And I'm saying we have a right to freedom of speech, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, how are you getting mad and angry and act like I'm getting personal just based off a fighter? All of a sudden, we supposed to get serious from a fighter who said he was going to break somebody, who he said he was going to break him like Kunta. So it was okay for him to say all these things, but it's not okay for me to ad-lib. It's not okay for me to light this shit up and put a little spin on it, right? So this dude goes in there and Crawford literally just feels out the first round, but still he potentially could have did enough to win that round. But as the fight went along, we seen that Crawford was much faster, much swifter, precise, very sharp, surgical with that damn jab of his. And not only that, it's just the way he was delivering the punch placement on Spence. Spence was in trouble. He was in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Spence was in trouble. He was in trouble based off the sheer strength that he was experiencing while on the job. See, it was no other way for him to experience this shit because him and Crawford has never sparred before. So it was no other way. Like him and Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, they sparred before. But Crawford and Spence never sparred, so it was really no way for intel to be given to Spence. I mean, to Derrick James from Spence. It's just no way, no how. So when the fight got going, and you seen the knockdowns happen in the second round, and then as the fight continued, and Crawford was landing shots, and Errol Spence was struggling, and he was just, you know what I'm saying, missing badly. Crawford seeing everything that was coming. I mean, his defense was right there where it needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Every time Spence tried to ring the doorbell, Crawford shut the door on him. You know what I'm saying? Shut the door on him. He had his guard up. You couldn't ask for a better fighter to be vigilant doing that, doing the magnitude of this fight. I mean, he's seen everything Errol Spence was throwing. Very much in slow motion. Very much in slow motion. And you know, Spence held a pretty decent poker face. He didn't seem like he was getting frustrated, but deep down inside, he was frustrated. He was trying to throw that overhand left. Man, Crawford knew everything about that. Every time he wanted to try to throw that lead right, and just what Bud was able to do, turn that lead jab into a hook. Every time he tried to switch it up, Crawford already was there. Tight, secure defense, man. Tight, secure defense. Very attentive to what Spence had going on. Plus, Spence, his punches was slow to me. Very slow. That can be from many things. That can be from the ass whooping he was receiving, or it can be from the ass whooping he was receiving. Either or. You take your pick, one or two. You know what I'm saying? So as the fight got to the seventh round, and obviously Spence was breaking down, Crawford freaking dropped him twice. He's all over the place. They didn't deem it necessary to stop the fight inside the ring. My question is, was the fight getting bad enough up to that point that Derrick James could have threw in the towel? Could Derrick James could have thrown in the towel to save Errol Spence from any further damage? Do you believe that the fight was stopped too early or too late? If you believe it was stopped too early, put an E in the chat. If you thought it was stopped too late, put an L. Okay, we're going straight off vernacular. Folks, you know what I'm saying? The alphabet. Please, E for early, L for late. I just want to hear your thought. Do you all think the fight was stopped too early or too late? Do you believe that Errol Spence could have continued? Or do you think the referee or whoever took too long? Because you know in round 5, the referee came in there. I mean, the referee summoned the doctor. He came in there and took a look at Spence because he was taking punishment. His face was all red and shit. And, you know, he had a look at him. So the fight would continue all the way up to the stoppage. Right? So do you believe that the continuing damage that Crawford was able to deliver, because he wasn't missing anything, y'all. Crawford wasn't missing nothing. Nothing. When I tell you he wasn't missing anything, he could have damn near closed his eyes and swung, and he probably would have hit Spence with his eyes closed. He was that surgical with his punches, and he couldn't miss. He couldn't miss. Just like Snoop Dogg say, I can't miss. Let me know what you think. Shout out to Shaw News and Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. Salute to you. Team Tucker in the building. Don Dot on deck. Put the season on their ass. Spence wasn't lying. Bomac had the season for him. He sure enough had the season. For real. You know what I'm saying? He sure enough had the season. I'm not going to lie. He had that season for their ass. Definitely, if you want to leave a super chat, I can definitely get to it. But we have 62 in the building. There's no way I'll be able to get to all these super chats. That's what happened when your channel grows a bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's impossible for me to get through all these. But I will skim over some of them a little bit later. All right. Let me see if any one of y'all. Okay, so okay, I appreciate that. All right. So LAB lost all the boxing said it was stopped too early. Shaw News say it was stopped too late. Carlos believe it's late. Stickum Boys believe it's late. East Money believe it's late. Don Vaughn believe it was stopped too late. Mike 74 on deck, he thought it was late. Darlo believed it was late. So a lot of y'all believe that the fight was late. You know what I'm saying? I thought being on the earlier podcast panel today over there at the boxing section, I thought that the fight was stopped late too. I thought it could have been stopped earlier because I just thought Spence was taking an extensive amount of punishment. Now, you know what I've said about Spence. Like, I feel it's all fair when it comes to trash talking and what he's been able to, like all the slave jokes and the Toby jokes and all that, and spin the block, and you know, he gonna break him mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, he gonna break him, and then not giving credit. Sean Porter was a shell of himself. We heard the entire trash can of insults. We heard the trash can of insults and criticism and everything else that goes along with it. We didn't feel like we had to go around here as a sanitation department and clean up these avenues which have been littered by these aerosexuals because they was living in the streets with agitprop. You know what I'm saying? Bias ass narratives, pushing them bias ass narratives out there, right? So we're looking at this whole, you know, criticism thing that's going on with Spence. And then we see the fight play out in Vegas. Then we see the photos come out. The photos didn't lie, y'all. The photos. Oh, let me tell you, the photos are just vicious. The photos vicious. And I know people are feeling some type of way, but that's okay. Because when I put photos up like this is real life stuff. You know, when I grew up on Martin and Tisha Campbell, I was like, damn, that nigga funny right there. Oh, that nigga funny right there. Shit, that nigga funny right there. Martin Lawrence was funny. I ain't gonna lie. I wish they never would have split. And it was funny as hell. But this picture right here, if it's never been a boxer since I've been covering the sport or since I've been staying close to the sport, you know what I'm saying? It has never, that I've witnessed, been a boxer that came close to this Martin Lawrence classic when he stepped in there with a pro fighter with Tommy Hitman Hearns, and he came back with them knots. Oh, classic. But in this moment, which is an awesome money shot, you see the brutality of the cutting corners, y'all. This was I was talking about the easy route. You see how simple and easy it was for Bud Crawford to land these shots in such a short period of time. He cut so many corners up to this point. He cut them all through his career. You know, he was able to get away with his recreational, how would I put it? The sins that he was committing, enjoying his recreational liberty, you know, doing all the sins that you're not supposed to do as a professional fighter, you know, what you was doing with your body and all that. His mindset would not stand in the gym and stand out the streets. Not stand in the gym, but stand in the streets. He chose to be in the streets more to the gym. All the times that he was cutting corners, and when he said that shit on the rocks with AO, he felt that he can go in there and be a low percent against Danny Garcia. I actually believed him. I actually believed the way Errol thought that him cheating himself, he felt that he was ahead of the game. He felt that, you know what, I'm more stronger than I thought. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it ego. I just feel like Errol has this mindset because he got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? He has a dog. He just has this bravado with him that he believes there's certain areas that he was built for. You know what I'm saying? He probably felt that when he was back in the Olympics and when he was saying that shit like, oh, well, you don't know about me. You don't know about boxing. You know, I'm stopping everybody. You know, he's pretty much putting it out there that he's the man down type of dude. He's the truth. Back then, he was the truth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should believe in me because I'm the truth. And then they say when you get the fame, sometimes it consumes people. It consumes people so much to the point where when they're in a predicament and they begin to be affected by that predicament and they keep on going back to it and revisiting it, and then that predicament becomes a part of their life. That's what happened to Spence. He cheated and cheated and cheated so many times and got away with it to the point when July 29th came up. And I told you all that. Nobody can say I didn't. I said, if he got to leave Texas, it's over. It's over, dog. I said, he has to leave Texas for this fight. It's over. And y'all probably say to yourself, but he left Texas for Sean Porter. It don't make a difference. That was before the accident. I said, if he has to leave Texas outside of that boxing footprint of his with that home cooked meal, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of spices in that home cooked meal. He has to leave. He's going to be in trouble. Sure enough, he went ahead and got his ass beat because he couldn't cut weight the same. He didn't have the, you know, whatever the system that he usually go by in Texas. He's supposed to have a nutritionist, dietitian that's supposed to be bar none, the best out there. They couldn't do anything. When we start seeing the pictures come out of this strength and conditioning, what was that about? Like you should have been doing some explosive exercises or whatever you had going on. Like we seeing Crawford over there in full-blown training stations, you know, doing explosion, you know, type of exercise and stuff, building up his base, keeping his legs strong. All along in the process of working his upper body, you know what I'm saying? When he finally put the picture out, dude was shredded. He put on muscle mass, and they said, "Oh, you know, Crawford's on the juice. Crawford put on too much muscle mass. He ain't gonna be able to make weight. Crawford too bulked up. Shit." What he was displaying in the ring, man, his strength and conditioning coach was on point. I was going on a limb. I said they must have hired Blu-ray over that motherfucker. I say, shit, he looked shredded. He looked ready. You see his abs through his shirt when he was in there doing the open workout. He looked ready. Spence, you know, he came in there and he looked like he had dropped weight, but to the one who understands what it's supposed to look like, he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So getting back to the finish of this fight, right? This man gets destroyed in round 7. Terrence Crawford literally takes round 8 off to see if there was anything else that Spence had. He did, y'all. Is there anything else? He wants to know, is there anything else that he have? You're like, am I waiting around here for nothing? I want to know. Plus, it's so many people in the crowd, right? Crawford is getting off on Spence. He's dominating. He's destroying this fighter. He's punishing. He's punishing Spence, bro. He's extremely active. You cannot ask for a better display of a masterclass clinic than what we seen July 29th. He's up there talking shit to Charlo on the side. You know what I'm saying? The Charlos just had it all bad. You know, Maul getting slapped and Mel over there and Terrence Crawford just basically telling him, you next. You know what I'm saying? He basically told the man that goddamn something with his genitals or something. You can imagine what that was like. Man, shut your ass. You know, like he was saying, you next. That's savage, bro. You in a full-blown fight. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff Jahad Tucker do too. Talk to the people. So Terrence was over there talking while he was beating Spence's ass. He took round 8 off, came back in round 9. And man, he closed out the show so easily that Harvey Dock didn't have no other recourse but to stop the fight. And this way it gets a little bit interesting for me. This guy right here, all right? This guy right here was exposed a while ago, but he just wasn't all the way. The layers wasn't pulled back all the way. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that was that he had some athletes in his camp. You know, he had Jamel Charlo, who was unified, and he had Spence, who was unified. And then Jamel finally defeated Brian Castano. Now, truth be told, you know, Brian Castano wasn't considered one of these top-notch fighters just because they had a title. But no one talked about that because Jamel Charlo really wasn't a topic of discussion. So him beating Patrick Teixeira and then coming in there and fighting Jamel Charlo and really, you know, giving a good ass account of himself, he would get knocked out in the rematch. Nothing new because why? Jamel Charlo has been known to perform better in rematches. So Derrick James being in a situation where the press conference, he wanted to talk shit to Bomac. He wanted to damn talk about his size, but ultimately he got outcoached. Bomac outcoached the shit out of Derrick James. He outcoached the shit out of him, bro. People up here lying, talking about Derrick James was given conducive. They didn't use that word, but conducive instructions, and Errol Spence wasn't listening. Man, please. Look, this is the only one I need to hear. You got to make him feel you. You got to make him feel you. What is that? Was that the code for a low blow? Or was that a code for you to close distance and go to the body and try to break Crawford down or try to land the shot, go to the body and then come over the top? What was that the code word for? You trying to tell me Derrick James in his position with the fighters he's had, supposedly, with the attention and traction that his world-class furniture store has been given, that he don't know how to handle a fight of this magnitude? Do you think because Errol Spence is 33 years old and he's set in his ways, do you believe there's much more going on in the camp between him and DJ? I think so. I do. I think so because Mel Charlo is not training there all the time. So you got to understand that him and Mel Charlo talk. They have to talk. And Mel Charlo probably talking so much shit, man. Hey, come on, EJ, man. Leave his ass, bro. I can't leave him. You left him doing the Brian Castano rematch, man. But you end up coming back. He said, yeah, but look where I'm at now. Okay. I got in camp. I did what I had to do. I won the rematch. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? He probably been trying to get EJ out that freaking camp from him for a long time. But, you know, EJ was probably locked in. You know, he probably had Diddy James on the low with how much he was paying him. I don't know. From what I'm looking at, he probably was getting 1.5 to 2%. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have gotten any higher than that. We looking at the fight. When I say we looking at the fight, and we thinking to ourselves, how much more damage do Spence need to take? Now it goes from criticism to concern. You know what I'm saying? Like, I criticize the shit out of him for his activities outside the ring, right? But I ain't trying to see the man die in the ring. I'm wondering, where's his support system? Your trainer's supposed to be there for you, right? Your trainer's right outside the ropes. He's looking. He's supposed to be assessing how the round is going. He's seen every time Spence has been knocked down, right? Why in the hell then his coach throw in the towel? Why didn't you save your fighter and savage? You know, you're trying to savage your fighter for another fight. If you have him for another fight, you get paid too, right? But ultimately, Spence get to go in there and fight another day. I never heard Spence say that, you know, like I heard Deontay Wilder. Wilder had made it perfectly clear that I'm the boss. I want to go out on my shield. You know what I'm saying? The bronze bomber wants to catch a body. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much the bronze bomber want to catch the body. Let me go out on my shield. I never really heard Errol Spence say that, but I can clarify this though. He said he didn't want to die in the ring. You feel me? They act like I don't be paying attention to this shit. I do. Errol said he didn't want to die in the ring, man. That stuck with me, especially when he was taking the punishment. He was looking. This shit was fluttering through my mind, right? And I say, shit. He said he don't want to die in the ring, but he's getting beat up pretty bad in there. Why don't his trainer DJ go in here and take action? You're there for a reason in Vegas, the biggest fight of your fighter's career, one of the household names in the world-class furniture store. This is the household name that everyone's been talking about for the longest of time. He's the truth, man down. Put his dick in the dirt. Strap season. All these hashtags. And your trainer don't believe in the hashtags? Maybe, when it was man down and it was actually Spence, maybe it didn't resonate with Derek James. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that shit supposed to resonate with you? You let your fighter get his ass whooped, bro. And you didn't even throw in a towel. Harvey Dock had to come up here, the appointed third man in the ring, and he had to save this dude, y'all. I think Diddy James should be fired. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, Spence, I don't know your contract. I don't know many fighters that lock in contracts with trainers. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But you talking about having like 2 more fights for your career, and be honest, I'm not here trying to tell my listeners what you should do with your career. But only thing I'm saying is your trainer failed to look out for you in a manner that people, that support Spence can respect. Now, the wild part about it, I don't even hear the aerosexuals even talking about anything like this. Like, it's almost like they're timid and afraid to mention something about Diddy James. They know damn well the man took too much time in watching EJ get pummeled, get thrashed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Crawford couldn't miss, man. He need to make a t-shirt, couldn't miss. And he put goddamn Spence's face on there or something. Can't miss. Better terminology, can't miss. Bud Crawford couldn't miss in there. But yet Diddy James couldn't even find any type of towel to throw in there for the better good of saving and savaging freaking Errol Spence. They're going to have to figure it out. I think Derek James is one of the number one. If you listen, DJ, you are the most overrated coach in the sport of boxing. You're not over Ronnie Shields. You're not over all these other coaches out here that get recognition, that's actually producing fighters, that's out here doing something, winning titles, winning big fights. You're not a Freddie Roach. Every time I see Guzman putting training videos out, I say, you know what? His the way he teaches will make me want to lace up the gloves. You know what I'm saying? Will make me want to lace up the gloves and go in there and learn. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need a fresh start and get rid of this guy. Because if you go in there for a rematch with Crawford, and that's what we're about to talk about right now, I don't think there's going to be any improvement, bro. I see Ryan Garcia being taught the same way you teach Spence. You know what I'm saying? You're not teaching your fighters to slip under punches, slip away from punches. The way we see Crawford, the way he gauges distance. Oh, man, his ruler is on point. His ruler is on point with the distance. He stays right outside punch range and be able to return that counter shot. And when he hits you with one counter, 9 times out of 10, he's going to hit you with the other counter. You know what I'm saying? So he's throwing a 1-2 counter. He's gonna line you up very nice. As in Derek James, he wants you to block. And it's not even catch and shooting. He just wants you to block the shot, which still wears on you if you're being punched in the arms or the glove or whatever, depending on who you're fighting. Back to the responsibility, though. I thought the man took too long. I thought, at this point in time, he's trained enough fighters to know what to do. I think he's extremely overrated for the lack of knowledge that he has. He's getting on a plane, leaving Vegas, going over there to the UK. And I'm saying to myself, Joshua did not look, anything spectacular after the fight. So I'm looking at who he's teaching and their productivity. We're looking at the quality of service, y'all, the QoS. We seen that with Frank Martin. We didn't think the quality of service was there. We didn't think the quality of service was there for AJ. And we definitely didn't see the quality of service to come up with a fight strategy for Terrence Bud Crawford. If Errol Spence wants to say all these positive things about Derek and keep it professional, cool, I get you. But it comes a point in your life when you mention your daughters and your family and you want to spend time with your family. Well, you're almost about that time at 33 years old. So if you find yourself with only about 2 to 3 more fights, or due to your age, now we talked about this, due to your age, a lot of people say, okay, if you take care of yourself, you straighten up, you can have about, 5, 6 more years in the sport. It all depends on how you take care of yourself. We don't know. We don't know what's going on outside. But if you stay with him, this dude is going to get you a short career where you don't have a choice. He's going to look hanging around, in my opinion, hanging around DJ is going to have you in a position where you don't have options. You're incapable of having options on whether you want to stay in the sport or leave the sport. I think staying around him, you're going to have to leave the sport. And it's not going to be an option on whether you want to or not. You're going to have to. You got dog. You have courage. You got heart. No question. You check the box on all that. But as far as the way you looked in there and your condition, it's not going to just say like a lot of people, oh man, just move up to 154. It should be all good. No, it's the training. It's what you don't know. You're nowhere close to Terrence Crawford. You're nowhere close, man. This guy on the thumbnail, bro, Spence, he's not it. He's overrated. He has athletic. It's like the coaches, right, that was down here in GA when they implemented the bus system for the black city kids to come out of the city and go to these other schools that were considered white schools or whatever before we got to it. But when we initially started the bus out there to these schools, they had white coaches in majority of these freaking athletics, like these sports. And they was just happy that they had some black kids that was athletic, but they couldn't teach us. So when it got down to somewhat going to these city schools, when it came to b-ball and other sports track, these coaches were putting these kids through training regimens and weight rooms and doing other things to get them where they need to be. Whereas you had a coach out here that was happy to have some faster, stronger black kids on deck, but they didn't know what to teach us. Derek James is one of those individuals who happened to be a boxer, but if you take a review of his box rec, it's almost like a lot of times, man, that you see a classmate skip school a lot, and they really try, to convince you that they really love school and they're gonna go to college once they graduate and all that. And you say to yourself, no. When you look at Derek James's resume, it just seems like he wasn't there for the curriculum. I don't know who was teaching him, or did he have somebody that was worth that you can look at and say, I got mad respect for his coach. The way he piloted his boxing career was almost like him sitting on a paper plane. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like him putting a paper plane behind him, right? Next to his ass, right? And running to a cliff and goddamn putting his feet together and trying to say, okay, I should be good to go once this paper plane catch flight. I should be good. And look, he wonder why he crashed down the side of the freaking mountain and on that head and roll around and be like, oh man, that shit didn't work. It's almost like, who was piloting you? Who was giving you coordinates? Because it's atrocious. And now when your fighter really needs you at this point, you cannot provide him proper directions. You know what I'm saying? You can't provide him proper instructions for flight. Arrow, it was looking to fly July 29th. Just showing up to the fight wasn't enough. He would have had to fly. He would have had to levitate to a whole nother level to go in there against the Terrence Bud Crawford. Y'all have to remember, Bud was ahead in front of him on the pound for pound list, right or wrong. So since he was in front of him on the pound for pound list, therefore the coach have to expect that this fighter absolutely would be considered the A side, so to speak, the better, more technically sound, the more educated IQ. You know what I'm saying? He's achieved more in his career. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? You try to explain to people like boxing transfer your accolades from division to division. That's why you can build up your cachet. You can build up your boxing portfolio. And that's what Crawford did. So when it was time for Spence to take flight on July 29th, he couldn't. The mechanics wasn't there. The entire infrastructure wasn't right. If you looked at his mechanics, if you looked at his footwork, yeah, we all knew he was a flat-footed fighter. But he just didn't know what to do with a fighter like Crawford, who just seemed to know everything Spence was doing. And every time Spence went with what was naturally there for him prior to with lower tier opposition or second rate fighters, he made him look like he was on the same level for which Spence treated the lower level opposition when he was dogging him. See, Spence was able to go in there and dog him by coming straight forward, nothing special. They just didn't have, the tools or the education to repel that assault, to rebuke it, right? But when it came down to Crawford being the professor he is, he was just too much. He was too educated. I told you his ring IQ was just too high. And Spence did not know how to navigate around and tactically collect data from Crawford to be able to make some changes in there, man. It was no way that he was able to come up with improvisions. Maybe in between round, Derek could have told him something, but his instructions wasn't even benefiting, for him to go up here and try to take back the momentum a little bit, to try to make this fight competitive. You see, the crazy part about fighting in Vegas, and once getting to a pinnacle like this, like you got to the highest of the high. This is where you've been trying to walk. You've been trying to travel to that summit where everybody can see you. This was that fight. And you had all those people out there in the crowd. And the punishment that Spence was taking and the way his face was looking, dude was leaking. He was getting beat up. And you have this coach that just received the award. It's sickening that you can receive an award and let your freaking fighter go out there and damn near get slaughtered. Your fighter damn near got slaughtered. You just received an award. Your expectations to go out there and be in charge has just increased. It takes more than a black and white suit affair, brother. That means from this point off, you being recognized, you have to continue knowing that is now in your portfolio. You have to move forward and teach your fighters so that their productivity illuminates brighter in front of the big crowds. Not just the light that's shining down on them, but the light that they're sitting, the headlights that they're sending, that they're showing their fans. You know what I'm saying? They're continuing to shine. Fight after fight after fight. Your fighter shine, you shine. I just felt in July 29th, Spence was in the dark with a flashlight. You was sitting over there in the shadows. I don't know what the fuck you was doing. Playing Candy Crush. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Playing solitaire over there. Pac-Man. Word search. Maybe he was looking for some words to use. I don't know. But when you just received an award, you don't come out here and let your fighter get crushed like that. You let people know. Okay, Bomac said it'll be an honor to go in there and teach against DJ. And then DJ said, I ain't worried about what he's doing. It's all about me at the end of the day. I'm competing with myself. You're right. You're right, brother. You are competing with yourself. You're right. You was competing with yourself. Absolutely. Hands down, point blank, period. This nigga was competing with himself. And sometimes when people believe in me too much, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when me is your top priority and you elevate the sense of thought that me is higher than what it actually is, people become delusional. Oh, it's me. But me ain't shit either. But they don't know that because they busy invested in convincing people to believe that me holds a higher value than what people are seeing. What we're seeing with Derrick James is not this guy who just got an award. It's more so now that you've been taking advantage of having athletic fighters around you to get what they need to be. They have boxing skills, but can you take their boxing skills and rise it, increase their boxing skills to another level, to the point where they're out here competing with their compeers or boxing luminaries, and they're shining. And then at the end, y'all all get to hug it out and take a picture like, hey, we're a team. Look how we shining. A boxer say, hey, do you know a gym I should go to? Hey, go over there to the world-class furniture store. That's what you should go to. They have all the furniture you need over there. That's what you want people to say. You want people that don't really know you personally to point to your gym and say, hey, go over there. Dallas, go to this gym right here. Real talk. That's where you want to be. So where do we go from here with this guy? He didn't throw in the towel. His fighter was up there looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Where do we go from here? Let's talk about the 154-pound division. It was said that Terrence Crawford had agreed that he'll fight Errol Spence Jr. at 154 pounds. As you notice in my title, I say no rematch. I don't have an exclamation mark, nor do I have a question mark. The no rematch is me saying, after looking at this fight over and over again, I don't want to see a rematch. When it comes to the competitive part, I don't want to see these two fighters step in the ring again. I don't see a total 360-degree turn of Spence coming in here and taking this fight to the 12th round. I feel Crawford still had areas. He had fuel. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't really tapping into his gas tank, but he still had areas that really didn't cause him to step on the gas. There was areas that were still unknown when it comes to Crawford, bro. And I'm saying to myself, if it's areas that we still didn't venture into, and Errol Spence couldn't force this man to venture into those areas when it was needed, how was 54 on an educational standpoint going to get Errol Spence to force Crawford to exhaust every measure to be that competitive to say, this is what we got to do to bring Crawford into an area that he's not comfortable with? How can we make him guess what we're going to do? You know what I'm saying? We need to get Crawford to be mentally off balance. How and how do we make that happen? Can you get it done with Derrick James? I don't think Spence can get it done with Derrick. I don't think so. I think he needs somebody else during this period of time while he's healing. I think he needs somebody else to get that. That's if Spence wants it. Like with the adrenaline and everything that's going and stuff like that. Yeah, he's gonna say he wants the rematch. If he says he don't want the rematch in front of people, they're gonna be like, boo. You know what I'm saying? He got his boys out there, he got his family, he got all that, bro. He got Dallas, he has the same people that he was on the podcast with that came to that fight and seen him get beat down the way he did. You know, people left that arena and they said to themselves, I didn't see that coming. See, a lot of people just going off the popularity of what they done heard about Spence. And like Crawford always tell us that, yeah, he used to people, going against him, treating him like the underdog and all this other shit, right? He used to that. So that's what makes him train much harder each and every time he has to go in there and compete. So now it gets to a point where Crawford's mindset is what? I trained too hard to think about losing. Crawford said he trained too hard to think about losing now. This dude said, I trained too hard to think about losing. If that ain't the mindset of a champion, I don't know what is. So why don't I want this guy, Errol Spence, to compete at 154? I just feel like his boxing skills, his education, at this point in time, like that's why I love watching other sports, right? So with MMA, for example, you'll see certain people get beat, right? Like, for instance, Justin Gaethje, who came over from World Series of Fighting, came over there after Dustin Poirier. And Poirier has been in there with the top competition. And, during early in his career, he was beat. He was defeated by Conor McGregor, right? Him and Conor McGregor will have a rematch and then a trilogy where this is after Conor McGregor had defeated, defeated Jose Aldo at 145 and went up to fight Nate Diaz and then came back down and defeated Eddie Alvarez. My point is that he became the first two-weight world champion in the UFC, right? Since that time of fighting Floyd Mayweather, he hasn't been able to meet or revisit that stardom. And certain people that you would never think that can beat Conor McGregor, you would put them on the same level. Dustin Poirier is one of those guys who had the opportunity to rise to the occasion and beat him. And then he had a win already over Justin Gaethje. But through the evolvement of mixed martial arts, right? Justin Gaethje and teams, the way these teams think, he's not known for throwing head kicks. He's known for throwing low calf kicks. Yesterday, he threw a head kick, which Dustin thought he was going to block, just like DC and John Jones. John Jones threw a head kick over the guard of DC and clipped him. Same thing. Justin Gaethje threw a head kick over the guard of Dustin Poirier and dropped him. It's over. Done. So my point of reference is that how do Errol Spence evolve at this point in time? Because it's proven it's fighters that's much older than Spence that's still going strong in mixed martial arts. They still fucking winning. It's just boxing. Boxing has this damn mentality, yo, to call people a shell of themselves and without doing their research on fighters' ages. Look, just think about it. They're not really trying to find a fighter's birthday. So when it comes time for them to make a judgment call on a particular opponent like Bud Crawford, they're gonna say, oh man, Kell Brook was a shell of himself. Sean Porter was a shell of himself. Oh man, he fought lower level competition. You know what I'm saying? But yet the top tier competition is made to look like lower level competition when it comes to fight day for an undisputed championship showcase. one of the best fights that we've seen as of late. And he goes in there and completes what Roy Jones Jr. said. They said they wasn't nothing. I just make them look like nothing. And he made Errol Spence look like he was nothing. He made it look like he was nothing, man. How is that possible? Who can train Errol and get him to evolve for a match with Crawford at 154? Who? Is Errol Spence even motivated? Like in mixed martial arts, these fighters be going overseas. They be working on new stuff. They'll take time off if they choose to, or go to other gyms and train. You know, they got the UFC training facility that has all the resources that you need. I talked about this about boxing, that the boxing gyms are nowhere even close. You got to find individual donors to put money into something. To have franchises like these gyms. Now you have boxers training at a UFC gym, and boxing has been in existence longer than mixed martial arts. But one thing I liked about Team Crawford, they say they did a pre-camp and then they went back to the camp over at the UFC training facility as a team. So who's around that can guide Spence in the right direction to prepare him for a fight at 154? You're talking about 7 pounds. You're going to give Crawford 7 pounds that he don't have to cut, right? That means he's going to come in here much more stronger. He's going to come in here feeling a lot better than he did at 147 this past weekend. And then Spence, well, you know what it is. We've seen the destruction that he was a part of. But the amazing part about it, I don't even want to use the word excuse in this. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to use the word excuse. The excuse is very simple when it comes down to it, especially with the YTC. You know, people use excuse all the time because, you know, to them, it brings a smile to their face because we tend to latch on to excuses, especially blatant excuses. But what I'm hearing out here is just pity. Pity for themselves and pity for freaking Spence. I hear people talking about whatever happened with BOK Prime and you know, the whole process of him having a glove malfunction. They was trying to say all of a sudden Crawford has to cheat. They was trying to insinuate that Crawford would have had to cheat to freaking win fights. And that's why David Avanesian was knocked out, because they was going to make Crawford change gloves at the end of the round. Not only that, y'all, they say that Terrence Crawford he made Errol Spence wait. Now, for those of you male figures out there, because I want you to understand one thing. If you're going to participate in a sport that's male dominant, and I'm not saying women can't talk to sport, right? I'm not doing that. I'm just saying on here at the YTC, you have a lot of male communities that we discuss boxing. So when it comes to coming up with these theories that Crawford is on PEDs, you wasn't saying that when Errol Spence was shredded for Udenis Ugas, Crawford made him wait. Well, Errol Spence out of his own mouth said that I've been on a hiatus before. This is nothing different. I've been out of the ring before. This is nothing different. He's taking accountability. So if Errol is taking accountability for being out of the ring, waiting on Crawford, that's not to say he was waiting on him because he would have fought last year. We know damn well up to this point, the smart, intelligent human beings that support the sport, we know they couldn't make that fight happen last year. It was ghetto. Al Heyman couldn't make this fight happen. He couldn't make the fight happen, y'all. The money wasn't there. The money wasn't there. How all of a sudden you try to tell these aerosexuals to pretty much catalog the information. And the information that you have in the catalog, maybe that needs updating because we're in a digital tech era now. We can collect data and we can update information that we have in the catalog. So when y'all was back there in 2022 trying to insinuate that Bud Crawford walked away and all he had to do was sign the contract, now we totally understand proposals aren't contracts, term sheets aren't contracts, and no one, no how in 2022 could produce a single piece of document. All we got is individuals out here that are unemployed managers, trainers, life coaches, teachers, you know what I'm saying? Dummies, unemployed that would sit up here and tell you, I told you that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what it was. They had the documentation out there. They sent him the documentation. And June and July, they sent. No one can produce a single screenshot. No one can produce nothing. But yet they put the burden, they put the onus on Crawford and saying he walked away from negotiation. When Spence said with or without him, I'm fighting in November. That's exactly what he said. Am I right or wrong, y'all? Shout out to everyone that's in the building. I know you listen to me talk and discuss this. Can you please hit the like button? I would appreciate it. Let me take a peek over here to chat. Appreciate everyone that's in the building. Like I said, it's a huge amount of people that's just dropping figure comments. So, you know what I'm saying? The super chats I will get to immediately. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. I'm definitely going to get to you all. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely going to get, I'm going to try my best to get to it. But like I said, if you want your chat, your comment read, please, drop a super chat, support the channel. There's a lot of people that made comments in here. I appreciate y'all. Real talk. I appreciate y'all. So back to the 154, right? So I'm saying to myself, is there anybody around him that can help him evolve to meet the level of Terrence Crawford? That is my concern. Because if we're going to take from July 29th to December, we need to have a change. We know Team Crawford. They're locked in. We've seen and heard the instructions that was given from Bomac. We've seen the fighter, you know what I'm saying? Pound for pound fighter, the champion. We've seen Terrence Crawford go up here and execute those instructions. There's no ego there. There's no, I do what I want to do. I'm the one going in there fighting type of mentality. They have a team system, bro. You got to respect that. And if you don't respect it, you have no other issue. You have no other avenue except to respect it once y'all go in there and fight each other. Errol Spence has to find someone that's willing to get him to change levels, to get him perked up and motivated about going in there training. He needs somebody that's going to teach him something. DJ ain't it. If he chooses to stay with this guy all because I said he's overrated, then kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? You're just proving my point. You're not willing to make a change and try out new things in your career. It ain't no career after this in boxing. Once you get to a certain point and your body is not able to function correctly for you to be able to compete on a high level, what are you going to do? You can't sit up here and say, well, I really want to hire back Blu-ray to get me in shape for this fight. And I really needed a coach that can get me tuned in, adept enough to go in here and shock the world and go on a title run. That's not going to happen, because the one thing we know about life is that these young lions, they continue to grow and grow and grow. And sooner or later, you're going to cross paths with them in a combat sport. And everybody can't be the George Foreman's, the B-Hops. Everybody can't be that. Everybody can't be in their late 30s, early 40s and be the Packs. You can't be the Pacquiaos. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, who's going to be able to teach this guy? That's why I said I don't know if I want to see a rematch. I said no rematch because I think Terrence Crawford He's shown that he has a kill switch. And the crazy part about that, right? I don't even think he used the kill switch on Saturday night, dog. I don't, he didn't, you know what I'm saying? You know how you've seen Crawford get like super nasty? Like the kill switch where he's licking out his tongue, motherfucker just zoned in, and he got that look on his face like, no, man, it's, you know, like I'm here to stump you out type of shit. Like, you know, you take a knee, I'm hitting you while you down. Like, he didn't even have to pull out the kill switch with Errol Spence. He just was boxing the nigga. Like, he was just fucking him up. That's all. He didn't even go to the kill switch, y'all. Just because he had him fumbling on the ropes. No, Errol Spence never pushed Crawford to the level of putting him in a situation where he had to ignite or activate the kill switch on him. One of the questions leading up to this fight was, what have we not seen from Terrence Crawford, and will Errol Spence be the one to bring it out of him? We all know how that played out, right? We know how that played out. A fish fry like no other, goddammit. It's no way that they can tell me that they want to see this fight at 154 just because you're an aerosexual. Even the aerosexuals may think twice about seeing this beat down again, knowing that he go in there at the end of December and get his ass beat again. That means we're gonna have 2 fights. And I haven't even got to the resume part of this damn savagery this week. I haven't even got to the resume part. I haven't even got to the trolling aspect of my effort. I haven't even got there yet. I'm slowly just massaging my way through the week because it's Monday, and I don't want to front load too heavy on a Tuesday and stuff like that. So I'm gradually slipping into it. You know what I'm saying? I got sliders on. I'm walking in my silk robe. I'm walking around gloating in victory, God damn it. I'm gloating because I tried to tell them this wasn't a 50-50 fight. I tried to tell him he was going to get his ass beat. I tried to tell them, but I had people getting mad, man. You know, I had people feeling some type of way that, oh, man, you just bullshitting. Bro, it's not a 50-50 fight. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's impossible for Spence to have his highlights in the fight. I just say it wasn't a 50-50 fight. This is going to be one of, look, I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to find out the live, which is impossible because I do say a lot and I didn't bookmark any of this shit, but it is out there where I pretty much said that not only was this not a 50-50 fight, but this was going to be one of Crawford's easiest fights. I said this was going to be one of Terrence Crawford's easiest fights, y'all. And this was one of his easiest fights. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Silence say Ennis Boots isn't ready for Bud or even Thurman yet. He needs to fight Stanthionis and Ugas tight first and work on his defense. It's going to be up to them to try to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be up to him to try to figure this out. Ennis is talented. He has the frame for boxing. He has the talent for boxing. He's a switch hitter. But one thing there, Ennis, you play around too much, big dog. Ennis play around too much. And you play around and get out of line with Bud with all that joking and shit. Man, Bud going to put that kill switch on your ass. Bud is going to put that kill switch on your ass. Bud didn't even take out. Look, when you got Bud Crawford talking to Jermell Charlo, when this dude is talking shit to Jermell Charlo, who is a reigning defendant, 154 super welterweight world champion. And Bud Crawford has already been there before Jermell Charlo. So the pecking order is not going by who's in the heavier division. It's going by the Bravo, Oscar, Whiskey, the body of work. And God damn it, Right after Jermaine Taylor, you had Terrence Bud Crawford. And then you have a slew of other fighters such as Canelo Alvarez, Alexander Usyk, Josh Taylor, Naoya Inoue. You know what I'm saying? You have had Josh Taylors. You've had plenty of other people to become undisputed. But the second one is all mine. You've only had one to do it twice in the four-bear era, and that's Terrence Bud Crawford. You have to understand how important that is. When he's talking shit to Jermell Charlo, I'm about to get my second undisputed, and you can't F with me. I'm fucking your boy up. Ain't y'all in the same gym with Diddy James? He's talking shit. That's why I say Crawford was not in the kill switch mode. Errol Spence never forced it out of him, bro. So now the fact remains, there's still areas of Crawford's plans. There's areas of Crawford's skill set that has not yet been exposed to the general public because his competition needs to pull it out of him. Errol Spence was supposed to be that fighter, and he couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it out of him, bro. He was fumbling and dumbling and dingling and dangling. He couldn't even lock it in. God damn it. We couldn't lock it in. Oh, shit. I mean, look, I said it before. When your trainer puts you in a position in an open workout in front of people and he slaps you in the head with a mitt, you know, when you walked off, you should have walked all the way off of his ass. And you should have got the phone and say, Juan, ¿qué pasó, amigo? Can you come to Vegas? I need for you to corner me. I'm done with Dick James. I'm done with Dick James. You know, this guy, this Vendejo slapped me with a mitt. I'm done. I want you to come corner me for this fight. He should have called up something. He should have got with Mel Charlo. He said, Mel, check this out, man. I need to ask you a serious question right now. If your coach, who been getting on your goddamn nerves anyway, he's been on probation period. I just haven't told him he was on probation yet, but in my mind, he's been on probation. If this dude slapped you in the face with a mitt, when we supposed to be going through a mitt drill exercise, and I got a fight coming up, this dude up here slapping me in the face with a mitt, would you fire him on the spot? And would you go to one of your homies and ask them, hey, is there any way I can use your coach for this weekend? Charlo said, well, you know, the Charlotans, that's what we'll do. He wouldn't have got away with that shit. Charlo twins, Lions only, would have goddamn built a chunk out his ass shit. He wouldn't have tried that shit with the Charlo twins. You know what I'm saying? The Charlo twins, no. So what you trying to say again? What you want me to answer? What do you want me to answer? Damn, dude, I ain't asked you to go all out the goddamn. Dude, I ain't repeating shit, man. I'm just going back in. No, man, tell me. Do you think it's okay for me to then have your coach come over here and man, I call him up there and Guzman, man, yeah, call him up here, do it. He should have fired DJ right there, man. He should have fired him, bro. Seriously, somebody slap you in the face with a mitt, don't throw in the towel. Both of them are connected. He slapped you in the face with a mitt doing an open workout. I don't know, bro. It's hard sometimes to think that they're separate in the way they think, because doing this all access, he was complimenting shit out of Diddy James, but then both of them up there acting the same way. Like he's up here talking about Crawford ain't fought nobody. And then to caveat off what Spence said, his coach came out and said the same shit. And then his coach hating ass tried to say that Teofimo Lopez already became undisputed in 2 divisions. Well, goddamn it, hey, like my boy Sean New say, show your work. Okay. So if you got the work, show the shit. I know Bud can. I know Bud can show the work. I know he can show all them titles. And he can go back to the replay. I'm just saying he needs to change. And I'm not going to sit up here and push for him to change because that's not the fighter I support. Now, when it comes to Crawford, I have to commend them wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Palms to the deck, forefinger to the forehead. Salute them for doing an outstanding job in the heat of battle. That's how you deploy your soldier into the battlefields and cross that line of departure and go in there and remind people just how lethal and dangerous of a tactician that you are. And he go in there and carry out the whole tactical strategy and do it so to the point where he almost caught a body. Goddamn, Terrence Crawford almost caught a body, man. He almost caught a body for real. Terrence Crawford, he almost goddamn ended. Y'all think I just be, I told y'all, man. I try to tell you, man. I got a little bit of gift of certain things that's, you know, y'all wouldn't understand. But anyway, I did put the retirement up there. Some people thought I was playing, but I really truly felt that this would be a life-changing moment in Errol Spence's career to the point that he may not fight again. Now, I know me saying that ahead of time, people gonna sit up there and say, oh man, WCS is talking shit. Continue to say that, bro. Continue to say it. It's all good. I'm not here to prove to the world that we are the world. I don't know Cyndi Lauper. That wasn't never one of my favorite theme songs. We are the world. That was never my theme song. But all I'm trying to tell you is Errol Spence Jr. has healing to do. Right? But peep this out, though. Peep this out where I'm going with this. August, September, October, November, December. Right? Check this out where I'm going with this. And you ain't heard this shit from anybody else. Okay? And those of you that be out here using some of what I say, it's okay. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. If you don't have it in you to freaking cite me on it, okay. I hear the ones who do, and I definitely know the ones that don't. But peep this out. August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months. Now imagine the beating that Errol Spence took, right? And the fight was stopped in the 9th round. Let's rewind this shit to Errol fighting Kell Brook, and he had 8 months and 17 days. Errol Spence coming full circle. I'm not going to dress that bitch up and call it karma, but she sure enough looked familiar to me. So he has 5 months to heal from damage. We don't know how much damage to cause, but he has only 5 months to heal from damage due to contractual stipulations to step back in the ring. 5 months. But when Kell Brook was trying to submit an extension, and he didn't think he was all well coming down 2 divisions and all that good shit, you denied it. But Karma, hello girl, how you doing? Looking good. 5, huh? Yep. 5 it is. So no extension? Hell no, nigga. Did you give Kell Brook an extension? All right, damn. You got to bring up old shit. He got 5 months to heal, right? Let's just say it takes him 2 months to heal. Let's just say it takes him 2 months to heal, right? Then that takes him to the 3 month, less than 3 months to get, first of all, during the process of healing, he need to maintain his weight. And then let's just say 3 months, right? Give or take, it sounds better. 4 weeks in a month. You know what I'm saying? Let's do 8, 9, 10. Let's give him 10 weeks. 10 weeks in training camp. So he's going to have a short recovery period, and he's going to have about 10 weeks in training camp. Can he do it? That's all I'm saying. Can he do it, people? Bud carried Errol. He didn't have to carry any other opponents except the big fish. Absolutely, Carlos. Absolutely. And you know what? You didn't have to put on your best focals with the strong prescription in there. You know what I'm saying? The one that has the nearsighted prescription in it. The ones that make your eyes look smaller than what. Hey, you didn't have to put on your prescription glasses to see that, bro. Dollar, what's good? Not only was Spence beat like a dog, Derrick James was out coached and out game plan. I have to put that up there. Some of these comments, I just have to put them up there. You know what I'm saying? Because he needs to hear this. You know what I'm saying? LAB said he got a legendary ass beating. You know what I'm saying? Legendary ass beating. What's up, Seawood? What's good with you? A legendary ass beating now. Not any ordinary. Dude has 5 months, y'all. Imagine that. His titles are gone. Except the ones that he had over there from having. His titles is gone. His title reign is gone. And I did a live stream and shoving this resume in the faces of those who always wanted to debate about resumes. Yeah, let's debate now. Anyway, I'll say that to another day. You got 5 months. How you going to dress her up and get her ready? 5 months. How are you going to dress her up and get her ready for the dance? You didn't give Kell Brook for 8 months and 17 days. And look at you. Look at you, man. Look at you. Now you got to turn back around and heal up from a beating from a weight class below. At least you get to gain 7 rather than dropping 7, right? So you have to make sure you don't balloon up in weight and be healthy enough to get back in training camp with whatever coach you're going to use to get ready for Crawford in December. You have to mentally keep yourself low in weight. You're talking about you about to get ready to go to Africa, Dubai. Some things can wait. If you're really trying to get your titles back, man, come on, bro. Come on now. If some things got to wait. If you feel that this is another biggest fight of your career because you get to go in there and try to get your titles back from Crawford, and you saw how dominant he was, and he's the A side. A side. Crawford is the A side now. It's no question. It's no question, you aerosexuals. He's the A fucking side, bro. I had to get my falsetto. I got to work on my falsetto. You know what I'm saying? I might want to release a track. He's the A side, y'all. He's the A side. The A side. There's no disputing that now. He's the A side. Hey, you know how the aerosexuals used to talk about who is in the A side and who don't rate your body of work. You don't rate this percentage and that percentage. Listen, you aerosexuals, he's the A side. A side. I got to work on my falsetto. I got to work on my goddamn music award Grammy. A side. He's the A side, y'all. So not only does Spence go in here with the understanding that he has to stay focused in between this fight, he cannot balloon up in weight. But the positive part is he won't have to lose those 7 pounds to get back down to 47. Now, that doesn't mean you go up here and balloon up in weight to 97, okay? You stay around the area in your 60s. You know what I'm saying? You stay focused. Because I didn't see, after all that talk Derrick James was doing, I didn't see you focused. You know how y'all kept saying, focus, 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 focus? Bro, you didn't have no other way except to focus. Like, he was touching you up anytime he wanted to. So most of the time you was dizzy. That's with 3 Z's and 4.5 Y's, and then some other shit on the end of dizzy. You was dizzy the whole time from Bud freaking goddamn touching you in your dome. You know what I'm saying? And then I can't even say that he was, you prove who had the better body work. When you went to Bud's body, it was like he was blocking that shit. Like his guard was on point, dog. Like his defense was on point, y'all. Shout out to the OG Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. What it do, my brother? Bud Myers on deck. I see you. It was too late. Should have been stopped. Now it's a serious damage to EJ boxing career. Now, hey, check this out now. I'm only using this as a part of my instructions. I'm not instructions, a part of my discussion, brother, right? It's not for people to venture off into other areas of expertise that you believe you have just based off your opinion. It takes more than that to become qualified medical physicians, people. That is all I'm saying to you. I'm not being disrespectful at all. What I have witnessed in the aerosexual community, and amid them making all these freaking pity excuses, you know what I'm saying? They're making pity excuses, right? What I have recognized was a clear sign of a virus that has now begun to spread. That virus has become inflamed due to the ass whooping that was seen and played out in front of our eyes in Las Vegas. Now, these people are saying that Errol Spence is somehow damaged from a long layoff, right? And the weight cut and the period, all of that together, the him cutting weight and the long layoff. Him cutting weight and the long layoff. This is boxing. So I won't let y'all get away with it. I won't let y'all get away with it. You know why? Because when he was ballooning up in weight and we saw him at the Frank Martin fight, what did the aerosexual say? Oh, WCS, has he ever missed weight? Huh? Has he ever missed weight? Then if he ain't ever missed weight, why are you talking about it? You're right. You're right. So I'm asking you this time, why are you talking about it in hindsight? Why are you all trying to act like you're doctors now and say that, oh man, it was because of the weight cut. He looked dehydrated. He looked drained. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. The hell he did look dehydrated. He didn't look dehydrated to me. That man fought 9 hard rounds for his life. How he looked dehydrated? How? How did he look dehydrated? Just because Crawford was treating him, like he was a C-level fighter? You can't come up here and make shit up, man, and try to sell it. This is not a fruit stand. This ain't a bodega. You know what I'm saying? This is not off the trunk of your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Of your Yugo. This is real life shit, man. Y'all sitting up here trying to say, oh, I'm gonna give him some prognosis in hindsight. He looked dehydrated. He probably was. Yeah, he was. And then the long layoff. The long layoff is what did it. That's cap. That's a lie. You cannot take another man's word and twist it. Like, you cannot sit up here and say, if another man honors the fact that he had a layoff, but it don't matter, he's been off before, so that ain't no excuse, and you turn around and use it as a pity excuse, you know what I'm saying, a created term just for the aerosexuals, then you're wrong. You can't sit up here and make shit up just because you want to come up with an excuse. No, ass beating was what happened. Ass beating. We're not doctors. Seriously, we're not doctors. We're not. The Spence was find another knob to slob in their hopes of seeing Bud defeated. Oh, you know where they're going? They're going to good old Ennis. I don't look, I'm not saying Ennis don't deserve a shot, but I know Team Crawford is going to make the decision that benefits him in his career. He said he even struggled to make 147. So what does that say for Ennis? Ennis will probably have a clear shot at whatever titles that Crawford vacates, period. So he's going to have to be patient until they figure out this 30-day. All right. Supposedly, Errol Spence is allegedly enacted his rematch clause, and it's going to be at 154. So, with that said, that's going to be a non-title fight, and that doesn't mean that Bud Crawford is going to vacate his titles. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that Ennis, Tom Bud Crawford, steps out the ring from beating Spence a second time, that Ennis is going to be coming into the ring and say, hey, why don't we fight in January? Huh? I'm up. Come on, man. You know we're not fighting in January. Give it time. Continue to get better. Look at film. Don't do like DJ did. Look at film. I gave you a good 9 rounds with Arrow. Now that was the guy that you chose to be. And when it was time for you to be in the WBO, you didn't want none. But now that I just beat the guy that you was lined up as his mandatory, guess what? That's now has changed. The flight plans have changed. So you have to wait till we fulfill this contractual obligation, and then we'll see what happens after this fight. Okay. So in the meanwhile, Ennis is going to have to fight somebody else. Like I like what somebody said earlier in the chat, a Keith Thurman or your Dennis Ugas. I like that. I like that. Put them in there with those guys, man. Bring out Sean Porter once again so Terrence Crawford can even get more credit for him not being a shell of himself. Bring out Sean Porter. Bring him back to the ring. Come on. Come on, man. Let's see how he beats Sean Porter. Come on. We know Villa. We can't use Villa as no measuring tool. We can't. Who are we going to line him up? Rashidi Ellis. We can't even line Rashidi Ellis up with a big name. He was even inactive. So, okay, yes, you get the check in the box and another win on your resume, but you need to fight an opponent that just like Crawford did. Crawford fought Kell Brook and Sean Porter, and yes, he just defeated Errol Spence. Let's debate resumes. Let's debate resumes. I want to debate resumes, please. Anybody? Somebody? Anybody want to debate a resume? Who has the better resume? Terrence Crawford? Errol Spence Jr.? I just need to know. If you want to go and debate who has the better resume, can we do it now? Is it easier for you? Is it easier for them, y'all? Hey, the hottest chat in the game. Is it easier now? All the falsicities that they was talking about. Who has the better resume? Punks? Huh? Who has the better resume, shawty? God damn. Scary thing is Bud wasn't going hard. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. He look, Don. He didn't even go and flip on the kill switch, bro. He didn't even flip on the kill switch, bro. Errol Spence wasn't even competitive enough to force Crawford to go to the dark side. Man, look, Crawford didn't even go to plan B, C, and D. Red said that they had plans lined up. Man, they didn't even have to go to plan Bravo Charlie Delta. He didn't even have to get mean with Spence. He was just going to end up beating his ass, man. WJ Luckett on deck. What's good with it? Salute WCS. Extreme Spence fans are saying Arrow has spiked water and Bud has stacked gloves. Get ready for the BS narratives. Listen, look, I don't have to get ready. I kind of stay ready with the shit that I hear. I told them cats that I be tuning into their stuff, and they still get mad because I told them I tune in. I mean, I told you. I said, hey, yeah, I'll be listening. And then you get them mad. And you got them bitch ass, them hoe ass, and WCS be in my chat. No, I don't be in your chat. But I do be hitting that volume button and peeking in with my ears. Interesting. Yeah. So tell me this. If Spence water was spiked, right? Then It goes along the line that they were saying that Deontay Wilder water was spiked, right? So if they are using the term that Errol Spence water was spiked, where was the bottle? And who spreaded this information? Just based off his eyes that always look sleepy the way they do? Come on, guys. I would rather you say a hangnail was bothering him while he was boxing. It was a little bit sore than usual. He just was too lazy to bend down and clip it. I would rather you say something about that. Not the water being spiked now. We're not going back to the Deontay Wilder situation where y'all was just coming up with all these theories. You have to have some evidence, man. Y'all just looking at his eyes and say, oh my God, he took an aspirin that had too much high milligrams into it. You know what I'm saying? He drank the wrong soda can. They had 2 Coke cans back there, and he drank out the wrong one. He was just trying to get his caffeine levels up before he go out here and get this ass whooping. Come on, bro. How's his shit? Okay, so if that's the case, hey, the good part about it, that's the case. If his water was spiked, then they should have went to the doctor. Errol Spence had to go to the doctor. You know that, right? Errol Spence had to go to the doctor after the fight. He had to get checked up. The damage he received, in order for them to know what damage it is, in order for the promotion to pay for it, he had to go to the doctor. You know that, right? In order for them to pay for his medical bills and everything else in case he has it. Like, you know how Uga supposedly his eye was bleeding 40 days and 40 nights, and then he happened to see the swelling went down just enough when Noah's Ark was floating by, and all the animals had their head out the freaking window and shit. To my, hey, Ugas, it's good to see you, migo. You know what I'm saying? So if something goes wrong with his eyes or whatever, they have to have that documented by the doctor. They have to take a look at that shit. So he won't come out his own pocket or however it works. You know what I'm saying? If that's damage from the fight, then the insurance that they have on the fight is supposed to pay for his medical expenses. But that's not going to be the only thing they come up with. They want to talk about the man was, his water was he was drugged and Crawford, who wraps his hands, they're going to say, look, Crawford wrapped his hands by himself and not one commission was back there. Well, who fault is that? I think they just mad because Crawford wraps his own hands. Dude, I can't make this up. I think they just mad he wraps his own hands, man. He does more independent OG gladiator. You know what I'm saying? Gladiator type shit. That's what the OG mean for Crawford. Original gladiator. You know what I'm saying? He does gladiator shit, man. He's wrapping his own hands, and there's people up here spreading rumors, that his gloves was loaded, his water was spiked. I know that ass whooping made it seem like goddamn Spence water was spiked, didn't it? Yeah, oh my God, that's facts. That's some factual shit right there. Town business and sports and entertainment. What's good with it, Town? A lot of people can't handle the fact of how easy a fight Errol Spence was for Terrence. True words. That's true words, bro. That's true words. Bud did a Duran calling out Charlo. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Hey, speaking of that, I guarantee you, like Sugar Ray Leonard was there watching the fight. I know he didn't, like Sugar Ray said, I can beat him. I can beat him. I can beat Hackler. I can beat him. I guarantee you, Mel Charlo wasn't on the sideline talking about, hey, look, I remember shit like this. Hey, I can beat him. You know where I'm going with this, right? It's a clip out there where Mar Charlo and Mel Charlo is talking, watching who? The Canelo fight. The Canelo fight and John Ryder fight. People think I just be paying attention to one topic just because I'm talking about Bud. I be paying attention to multiple topics now. And the clip was on All Access where Mel was talking to him about Canelo when he was fighting John Ryder, and Marcello said he can beat him. He could beat him. All for the motherfucking camera. And then turn around and he gives his spot to Mel Charlo. And then he assumes another spot on the front end of Caleb Plant's left palm. Smack him. Come on, how does that work, man? How are you gonna give your spot up to Mel when you was just on All Access to I can beat him? That was cap. That was cap, man. The conspiracy theories are losing their mind, saying something foul was done to Errol. What was done to him? I heard people say he smoked the freaking weed out of Mike Tyson's care package that he gave him for free after the pod. People, that was pre-recorded. Okay, that was pre-recorded. He didn't give them that right on Fight Week. That was pre-recorded, and you hear him say, "Oh, next week." All right. I heard only 700,000 pay-per-view lives for Spence versus Bud. I'm not surprised. I don't know how you can hear that on Monday, so I really don't care. The real talk, I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like this early, there has to be confirmation from somebody else. I don't do the running around with numbers and have 8 different sets of numbers that people want to put out. So when you say you heard, where did you hear it from? Where did you hear that from? Because people be putting rumors out on people's channels and they don't have no source attached to it. Please put a source, line a source up to it. You heard from where? If you heard it from somebody else that's used to be that's used to clickbaiting, then what you just did was put that residue over on my chat that you heard 700,000 from somebody who's just up here talking. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you all the channels that do that shit. Every single fight of this magnitude, they'll put out some fake numbers just to make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm the one who did it. Just to get viewership, y'all. Rematch of 154, the Spence won't be drained. He wasn't drained the first fight. Both fighters had to make 147. Crawford weighed less than Spence. How they was drained? How they was drained? Hey, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Spence has had ages to recover. Yeah, he's only had 2 fights in the last 3 years, 3 fights in the last 4, something like that. I mean, he had time to preserve his body if he wasn't tearing it up with doing all that recreational shit. I don't know what you're talking about. 84, you got to be a Madonna type. I don't know where y'all get that from. The reason why he had success with Adrian because Adrian didn't have a full training camp where he was actually locked in. He was out there doing, concerts and drinking and stuff like that. But Adrian still went 12 rounds. Crawford would light Madonna up, man. Come on now. Madonna's been dropped with a body shot, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all are saying somebody like Madonna just because he fought Adrian Broner and got 2 good fights with Floyd? Come on now. The dude was dropped with a body shot, man. He did make some money off Floyd, though. I give him that. He did make money off Floyd. Spence wasn't dangerous in the 8th round. Crawford was carrying this dude. Spence was dumb after the 2nd round. You got to give back to the community there, Gumbo. I just think that's what he was doing for the Vegas crowd. He was just giving back to the community. He was just giving back to the community. This was a mismatch on the highest level of boxing, similar to Foreman versus Frazier. Both a level all-time great heavyweights, but still a mismatch. I don't understand the second part. Both a level all-time great heavyweights. Okay, you talking about heavyweights? Okay, I definitely don't think Spence was an all-time great heading into this fight just because he was on the pound-for-pound list. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think so. And let me look at something right quick. Let me see if anything has happened. Let me see. No, they haven't made any changes yet. So definitely Crawford is in front of, and we took looking at the ring. Definitely he goes in front of Usyk. Definitely. He goes in front of Usyk, bro. Usyk defeated Joshua, who was unified, right? But Joshua wasn't on the pound for pound list. Terrence defeats Errol Spence, who was on the pound for pound list for the unified titles. And Usyk came in there with no titles and beat Joshua. Crawford came in there with the title and beat Spence. So he's definitely number one. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Nui can't do anything about it. None of that. Because the divisions that he have, okay, you have divisions and you fought somebody that wasn't on the pound for pound list and you picked up 2 titles. But he was the first to do it on the pound for pound rankings. You know what I'm saying? On the 4-belt era, on the undisputed. Undisputed would trump the quantity of divisions, bro. It would trump the quantity of division in this case. So Anui, you're gonna have to, find a slot somewhere in 3, 4, or wherever they put you, because you're definitely not in front of Crawford just because you defeated Kubor Steph. That's just my opinion. You might be 4 divisions, but nah, you ain't in front of Crawford, bro. You ain't in front of Crawford, period. He just defeated the fighter that was on the pound for pound list with 3 titles. You defeated the fighter that wasn't on the pound for pound list and had 2 titles, which is a legitimate bona fide champion. But this is the first time a male fighter has been 2 division undisputed, which trumps anything that I would even come close to saying that how can we line them up? Nope. You'll probably get two division undisputed up, and then they'll be trying to talk about, well, put them back up there. Hurry up, put them back up. The Japanese be calling the consulate. What about Naoya Inoue? You're gonna put him back on the pound for pound, right? He just went up here and fought and unified the super bantamweight division for undisputed. He too is a 2 division undisputed. Please recognize him, respect him, and put him back in his appointed place. The Spence. Okay. All this freaking rumor mill stuff is only gonna get worse. But one thing that they can't do, I see you over here, Feliciano. You know what I'm saying? How did you like that ass whooping, Feliciano? Because you was over here talking what was gonna happen and how Spence was going to do this and that. How did you like that ass whooping? Was it just the way you pictured it? You know what I'm saying? When you closed your eyes at night and you were shimmering in your sleep while you was having that nightmare, was it just the way you pictured it with your eyes closed by seeing it on TV? Was it? Let me know. Shout out to Jamal Neezy, man, supporting the channel. $2 super chat. Bud eats avocados, green beans, and strawberries. Oh, shit. That's slick, man. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I'm saying? All healthy. Hey, Niecy. All healthy. Avocados, healthy. Green beans and straw, healthy. I like it. You know what I'm saying? That's slick. You know what I'm saying? The pay-per-view numbers, y'all, is not coming out to like Wednesday or Thursday. If you was watching Coach's channel, Rick Glaser has the inside scoop on those pay-per-view numbers coming out, and he said around Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, do not listen to these individuals who sitting up here just breaking news numbers sources say numbers of 700,000, just like they did Tank and Ryan Garcia. Man, just be patient. Just be patient. Somebody said 40 and 31 knockout. Hey, yeah, for sure. That's what they say, right? That is the register, bro. You know what I'm saying? Salute WCS. Your YouTube thumbnails are epic. Congratulations to Team Bud, pound for pound #1. Yes, sir. Congratulations to them, man. Congratulations to them. Yeah, Crawford goddamn put the Old Bay seasoning on their ass, man. They put the Old Bay seasoning on them, dog. Jesus. He put the Old Bay on him, man. And look, he could have had the recent face when he was getting punched. That would have been too much. People was like, oh man, we already know the fish is not going to be living. You didn't have to put the new face on there. We're spot on everything you said, covering the leading up to the fight. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think there was a 50-50 fight. I felt it was going to be one-sided, you know? And I thought it was going to be one of his easiest fights. I thought I put it out there that it was going to be easier than Sean Porter. It was easier than Sean Porter's fight, man. He dogged him. Well, you know, and he dogged him, bro. He dogged him. Seriously. Yep. The partner for Bud ain't in the mix yet. If he ever shows up, unless Crawford goes to middle heavy. What? Well, you never know, man. I don't think his rival, because in order for you to have a rival, just like DC and John Jones, it was thought that they would have a rivalry. And then John Jones in the rematch popped dirty. So he got suspended and they stripped him of his title. So DC wasn't able to, you know, become a rival with John Jones. And then he moved up to heavyweight, right? Where his boy Cain Velasquez had been competing for quite some time and who's now, you know, at the time retired. That allowed for a new light heavyweight to you know, to take over, right? So DC goes up here to the heavyweight division and develops a rivalry with Stipe Miocic, a fighter who had already been heavyweight champion, man. Come on, man. You can't make this up. He had already been, and him and DC end up developing a rivalry. So I don't know who's going to be Bud's rivalry. I don't know who at 154 that I will compare him to be a good rivalry. People will sit up here and say Tim Tszyu is a solid fighter. You know what I'm saying? But do Tim Tszyu sales? No. They're going to say again, do Crawford sales? Well, guess what? Crawford is a 2-time undisputed. He's popular. You know what I'm saying? He's just as popular as, you know, he may not fight on the pay-per-view model of Tank Davis, but come on. Crawford has earned more viewers and more fans off this thrashing that he delegated from Spence. Absolutely he did. The way he was out there making it look easy, talking to the fans, man, hey, his fan bases went up. Matter of fact, let me check something out right quick. I know Blunts probably know exactly where I'm going too. He's at 1.2 million followers. Woo-wee! He's at 1.2 million followers, y'all. Look, he has more followers than Errol Spence Jr. That was not the case previously. Errol's sitting at 1.1. He probably lost some followers, and Crawford is at 1.1. So Bud has more IG followers now than Spence, and Bud has more than Teofimo Lopez. Oh man, I can't make this up. This is funny, dog. This is hilarious. You're talking about a low-level opposition type of fighter, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, what I would say to y'all before I bounce is the fact that shout out to the supporters of the channel, those of you that showed up and drop your comments, and shout out to the donors, such as, my boy Gumbo, Jamal Neasy. Appreciate y'all. And appreciate the ones who donated to the channel before. You know what I'm saying? Continue to donate. I'm not going to be able to get to all the comments like I usually do, but I try to, right? But stay tuned. Definitely going to keep my ears to the YTC alleyways, because they're trying to come up with this desperate attempt to basically soil, all right? Soil the win of Terrence Bud Crawford, soiled him grandstanding in Vegas. How dare he do that? How dare he grandstand and then ride back on a private jet? How dare him? How dare he grandstand as two-time undisputed, y'all? Two-time. Should we remind them? Should we remind them? Huh? Should we remind them of what it was to sit down and your alpha put you on the deck? Should we remind them how breakdancing used to be when I was growing up? Breakdown. Beat Street, the king of the beast. Hey man, let's remind them of how he looked. Two-time undisputed. Two-time undisputed. Shouty. What? Two-time undisputed. What did I say? It's always been about greatness. 40-0, 31 knockouts, fight week, two-time undisputed. What? Once in a generation, a black superhero arises. Terrence Bud Crawford. Now you're gonna get these aerosexuals. Fuck that! Ain't no black man. My superhero. Listen, you do you, I'll do me. But what I do know is that there's a lot of aerosexual channels that really haven't peeped their head out the barrel. You know what I'm saying? After this beating, you know what happened when you stay in the barrel too long? I come through with a bucket of water and just automatically trip it, and then the water go into the barrel, and then you have to find the escape route. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I didn't put it out there, y'all. Errol Spence may retire, man. Seriously, he may retire. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He may retire after this, because it's quite difficult to take what he took. Imagine people just figured this was just a thumbnail. It is absolutely true. You know what I'm saying? It has came to fruition, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I have seen a couple of people use this on YouTube, and I just made a comment. I said, thanks for using my thumbnail. That ain't your thumbnail. I said, yeah, sure it is. All you got to do is look for my logo, baby. Look for my logo. Don't be selfish now. I don't mind, because I screenshot people shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Heavy is the head who wear the crown, and I shall depart. I appreciate everyone for pulling up. Salute for you tuning in. I'm at my 2-hour mark, and we should do it again. I'm out. Peace.